And welcome back to Flexible Games, where we are playing Production Line, a new early access game. It's not on Steam yet. You have to get it directly from the publisher or from the developer. But it is early access. It's $10, not too bad. I picked it up, so thank you, Viper, for recommending this. It's a pretty cool game. I'm enjoying it. It's a real big challenge late in the game. When you can start individualizing these. So you can see they're color-coded. Light green, this is chassis. The lime green, body. The whatever color you call that, paint. And the, I don't know, tan-ish, nasty, slimy color, engine. And then we've got accessories, electronics, quality check, all in with that same color. So this is like early, mid, late, final. So those are the different stages. And when you build the individual parts, those are also colored like that. So they all blend in together. Okay, we want to get started on researching. So we're going to build, let's see what our income is here. See, all of that production here, or all of that building just killed our bottom line. But now we're actually starting to turn a profit. We're slowly selling cars. But we want to axe all potential profit. So there are research offices. So now let's look at research. First thing I highly recommend researching is power production. So 4 of those research pods gives me 1 point per second. You can see 1 point. So each research section gives you 0.25. So that is, a natural math there. So yeah, power production. Because if we look at our expenses, last 1 hour or the last 24 hours, you can see power is starting to add up. 13,000 power. That's an insane amount of power or same amount of money that we're spending in power. We can generate our own power. So I want to go ahead and research that to lower our expenses, because the power production facility you can build and generate all the power that you want. And the game itself is so very moddable. It's actually impressive. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. It's going strong. Now, the more complex your builds and your production line, the more you're going to want to really pay attention to your resources, because the importer can quickly become saturated and not able to import all that you need. So if I had like chassis assembly and then body going up this way, I'm going to want to utilize this resource assembler or resource importer to be able to provide enough material so I can just smoothly move it through. Now, something to keep in mind if you're playing this game, if you're trying it out, all of the nice special features that you can research, and let's take a peek at them here. So if we go down here and you look at some of these features, so new slot, fit aircon, that's a new thing that we can build, fit air conditioner. The climate control is an upgrade to that slot. So this is an upgrade to this. And the upgrades, if you look, upgrades, choose. So this gives you the robots upgrades. Now, here is the catch. This is something I just learned in my test game. All these cool features are specific to a very specific factory slot. So you can see leather interior, fit seats is the assembler. It's not fit accessories. So like fit accessories, we can't add any cool accessories onto that. Electronics we can, because that is a very specific thing. So all of the electronics are there. But if we want cool features like remote start, keyless entry, rear backup cameras, there's tons and tons and tons of features in here. Electric windows is a fit Windows only upgrade. And that is important, because if you don't individualize your factory, eventually you're not be able to utilize those cool features. So the fit body, you can see fit doors is a fit doors. We can actually break that down through research into individual steps, door panels, windows, and the like. And that is where you are able to add different accessories. So we can't really accessorize until we are able to individualize all of our production lines here. Now, one of the important ones, the most important ones to get moving individually, are body and engine. These two are so resource intensive, especially engine, because of all the valves that it takes. I think it takes, it's either, I can't remember how many valves it is. Fit wheels, yeah, we're done with valves right now. So, okay, yeah, valves must be one of the first things. Now, unlike the regular factory, and I know the developer actually I know he visited like a Ford factory to study for this, making this game. Usually you are able to fit an engine completed. So there's our production. So we're going to do engine specialization. So engine assembly, we're going to fit flywheel, fit starter motor, fit valves. And then we'll be able to make those too. But if we go down, we'll be able to actually fit engine assembly. So we're actually able to make engine assemblies. And well, I have to see how that works. So we're going to do engine specialization first, because that is one of the biggest nightmares, is engine specialization. Now, if we are able to build the engines on another line and then bring the engines in and fit them right into the car, that is more or less like how actual car factories do it. They don't build the engine in the car. They just insert it into the car later on. So you can see all of these setups here. These are all pending cars. Now, I would recommend not, if you need to change something in a factory, something big, stop the production of your chassis and let all of those go through the system, because you have thousands and thousands of dollars invested into these raw materials that go into all of these chassis. So these are all cars that you could be selling, whereas you have each car has axles, drive shafts, fuel tanks. And fuel tanks are not cheap, and undercarriage. So every one of these has all of those components added onto it. Now, destroying your conveyor belts would waste all of that money. That is something we do not want to do at all. So our production is really hurting right now, mainly because body is taking its sweet time. 6335. That is a brutal amount of time. Not even engines are that bad. So body might be a good first one to optimize. Might be. I'm not sold on the idea yet, but it might be. Now, when I talk about goals for this game, I want to build at least this plant here. I want a separate line for a basic car, which we've got essentially, but a basic car with I want to try to mirror some of the cars that I've owned in my life. So my very first one I ever owned was an old Mazda 323. Now this car was something special. It was a lawnmower with doors, because it was it was a 3-cylinder 0.9 liter engine car, manual transmission, only 4 speeds. The top speed that I could get that car to, and it was pushing the engine, was about 50 to 55 miles an hour. So yeah, that was my very first car way back in the day. It was an old 88 model. So yeah, it was a very basic car. No power steering, no nothing. I mean, there was windshield wipers, and that was about it. There wasn't even cruise control on it. So let's see. We want body specialization. So yeah, that was my very first car. Now, a car or two later, my next car and the car after were more modern cars. They had power steering, they had power windows, but they were economical cars. They were sort of family 4-door cars, nothing too special. So the second line I want to get done is a line of sort of economical cars, and get those made. Now the next car that I owned, this was a while ago. Still, I'm not a young person. I owned a Infiniti G35, and I loved that car. Had to sell it for financial reasons. I owned it. I bought it shortly before the big recession in 2008. So I only had it a couple years at that point. And times got tough. So unfortunately I had to sell it, but I loved that car, and it was a sporty, very nice, very accessorized car. So yeah, I want to do another line that is the sport, like a expensive, highly, feature-rich sports car. So it'll give me a good price point. I'll have a car that sells, that is a low price point, sort of like this one, a car that's a mid price point, and a car that is a high price point. Now the car I have now is again an economical model. It's several years old, and it's back to that mid-range sort of car. And because I YouTube so much, I actually don't drive it all that much, which is nice. Saves a lot of money on gas. So you can see that research finished. So now we are able to get these going. And I want to still individualize all of these. So we got to do a little bit of research before we're able to really push hard on all of our cars. And right now, the biggest expense, I bet, is components. Yeah, components right now is a huge portion of our expenses. So I can either start manufacturing some of the more expensive ones myself, or we can work on increasing our output. And then we can do that with a couple different ways. We can get more robots on these, or the next thing that we're going to do to optimize this is, let's do engine assembly. Fit engine assembly. I'm hoping that I can build an engine off on another line and then bring an engine in and use it. That's what I'm hoping, but I doubt it. I really doubt it, unfortunately. But let's see if that's a thing. So we got fit body now. So fit body, frame, roof, and doors. Now I want to individualize these. I don't want to spread. I don't want to build hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of machinery and stations only to have to redo it because I have individualized fit doors to all the different components. But the other big expense that we have right now is power. So I want to eliminate that. So you can see right now we're using about 14,000 power. So I can come down here, get a power plant, and I can build power plants. So you can see it's 1,800 power per power plant. And these do have an upgrade, but they don't have any employees. Not really, anyway. Let's see, power plant. I'm going to do another one of these. We're at 9, 10, 11. So 14,400. So that was a lot of money in power plants. Each one costing 5,200. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 40, probably 40, about 42. Well, yeah, about 42,000 worth of power plants. But it should completely drop our power use. So this entire pie graph right here will go away. It'll get smaller and smaller and smaller and finally disappear. So we won't be using any more power off the grid. So yeah, that is good times. And we are selling all of our cars. So you can see we only have one car. So let's I'm going to tweak that up. I'm going to bring it up to 40%. So we'll use a little, we'll peek out a little bit more. Oh, yeah, see we're power plant. I need one more. There we go. Get us completely off the grid. Okay, it's almost time. I want to get some more research done in between episodes. I really want to get a lot of these specializations researched, just because that'll open up a lot of ways that we can then redesign our factory. The one I want to look at performance is fit roll cage, which I believe is in body. Fit door frames. There's roll cage, yeah, right there. So that is how I'm gonna. That's one of the things that performance features. That is one of the ways that I'm gonna get that sportier car. So I'm gonna need an entire branch. I'm gonna need 3 branches coming off the same set of chassis assemblers. So I'm going to have chassis assemblers, and then I'm going to merge them into 3 different lines. Each line is going to be a specific car, and each line can be separated out depending on how much time there is. So it can add up. It can add up really fast how much space you're using, which is why we have some extra space here. Now, some of the other bigger maps, bigger factories that you can make, I haven't tried those yet. And you can actually edit everything. Everything in the game is moddable. You can even edit these individual things, these stations out. You can change how they look. All right, engine assembly is done. I want to do. I don't really care about accessories specialization just yet. I will, but I'm not there yet. We are. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff in here. I want to do paint specialization. I think that's a good one. It's a cheap one. Get a cheap one done. All right. Well, we've got research going. I might even build. Oh, I'm not really able to build more of these just because we're not making enough money right now. So that is kind of our limiting factor. But anyway, that'll do it for this episode. So I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.